Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Howdy, and welcome to the iGPFun Formula 3 series presented by Virtual Racing School. We are here at the Glen to start off the 2022 Season 3 of the iGPFun Formula 3 series. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Sebastian Boscher Williams with Mark Tranter in the production booth. And you're here live watching Apex Racing TV.
You are indeed. Good evening, everybody at home tuning into another season of iGPFun, returning, of course, to Apex Racing TV. But what a race we have in store for you tonight, as we are just in the midst of qualifying. Actually, about 30 seconds to go, Austin, and we've got some very familiar names if you were watching one season ago, and just like deja vu all over again. Sam Hermer is currently in pole position. Will he be able to stay there? Well, he's got about 15 seconds to survive until we can confirm that he is your pole sitter for round one.
Yeah, he is currently sitting in provisional pole by about half a second. So it's very exciting to see that they are back on pole, and it's very happy to say that we are back on Apex Racing TV after a season away. Well, we brought it back, and hey, back to old glory. I think iGPFun and Apex Racing TV, we've been together for about 2 years now. And I've been commentating for roughly most of that entire time.
Certainly have, and I'm personally delighted to be back. iGPFun has always been the highlight of my week. Always just love the racing. Such a good set of rules that are imposed in this league, you know, with the not racing really until sort of the first half of the lap is over. Always provides such clean results. Always a fan. And yes, back on Apex Racing TV, and we're going to see some outstanding racing tonight.
We certainly are, as qualifying is just finishing up right here. So I am very excited to see on who is going to be showing up and how this race is going to go, because Watkins Glen, it's a pretty tight circuit. Like, it's a wide circuit, but in the opening laps, it can get pretty tight, especially heading out of turn 1 and heading into turn 2. iGPFun, they have some special rules on the start. You can't really overtake, go 3 wide until after the bus stop chicane on lap 1. Then you're allowed to race, because they want everybody to race off the line and get a good start and enjoy the race as well. And with 47 cars here, it's can get kind of difficult, especially if you get into a squeezing moment heading up the S's. where, you know, you got a fence on either side, and we've seen some very unfortunate incidents this weekend with the Watkins Glen 6 Hours event here on iRacing, where, yeah, I think I saw a 7-car pileup in that section, and, you know, kind of wishing iRacing had automatic safety car yellow flags on road courses for that entire situation.
Yeah, I think I concur with you there, Austin. Yeah, this track is so tricky, especially as you see on your screen at the moment, heading up the hill. And yeah, it looks deceptively wide, but I promised you it isn't. And of course, the drivers, we're talking, Austin, about the sort of the special rule set that the IGP Fun League has in place. One of them is not intentionally moving or going across the white line, so you can't do the old trick of track extending at turn 1 or taking too much curve through the bus stop. So the track is even narrower than it might have been, as here is your grid for round 1 of the IGP Fun.
Samuel Herbert will be starting up on pole position with Michael Coffrey in second place, followed by Gavin Petty, Jerome Lamley, Alistair Hay, Victor Barris, Vincenzo Monroe, Raphael Munzer, Andy Flint, Lucas Maruk, and Robert Ridgway, followed by Stephen Ritters in 12th place. Behind this, Nicholas Westman, Luca Verani, Rodrigo Duran, Christian Glamstetter, Daniel Rollinson, Tony Jimenez, Lee Ho-Yin Lung, Adam Talsma, Clark Williams, Zoltan Zoboter, Simon Fessy, followed by Nick Carty in 24th. Behind him is Sarah Molfatova, Reed Dennis, John McKenzie, Brian Tallarico, Hector Balaker, James Louis, Stuart Millen, Philip Lucas, Philip Waller, Brad Tallarico, Richard Van Veen, and Matthew Gracie in 35th and 36th. They're followed by Martin Devine, Kieran Richie Robertson, Alex Hopkins, Patrick Rollins, Ellis Stevens, Noel Richie Robertson, Graham Nicole, Giovanni Sletto, Ryan Waltzman, Colin Nicole, Koji Aito, and Matthias Melhorn in 48th place here at Watkins Glen.
It's become such a familiar sight. We see drivers starting around the final corner. Watch out for them. It's going to be such a difficult start. You've got to make sure that you ease the clutch out perfectly, otherwise you'll be sure to be facing the wrong way. And just to note, no real overtaking until after the first chicane, heading into turn 5. So we'll be sort of building up to that point, and I'm sure the drivers will be eager to start making moves as we just build to the first race in Austin. I am so excited for this. We see those cars around the final corner. It's going to be such a barnstorming race.
Yes, we are. 48 cars lined up and ready to go. We got cars already turning a little bit in the very back. It's time to get back to racing here. It's IGP Fun time at Watkins Glen as we go green, 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 and away we go. Car in the background jumped the start just a little bit. It looks like number 17, Robert Ridgway, was the one that jumped on the start, but Herman and Coffrey racing off the line. Petty in third place, and everybody just trying to follow their way into turn 1 right there. We got a little bit of an incident of drivers just making way for Ridgway, who had that jump start, but it's Herbert leading out Coffrey, Petty, Lamley, Hay, Monroe, Barris, Munzer, Flint, and Maruk. Your top 10 right there is Dylan Rollinson going side by side with Christian Glamstetter getting down to the inside of the S as they have a drag race seat. Drivers already trying to find the draft of the car ahead of them. They're storming too wide right now, heading into the bus stop, and now they've been released out of the bus stop, and now it's time to go racing for real IGP Fun style. First set of corners, always been taking it easy, and now these drivers are going to be going at it right now. Around the carousel they go, and this is going to be absolutely crazy.
Certainly is. Good start though from our lead pair, Herma, Coffrey, Petty, still your top 3. More squabbling though down the orders. This is Nicholas Westman, the 95 car, in 11th place. All drama happening behind him. Duran and Verani having a scrap as we headed through turns 6 and 7. They're still squabbling as we head towards turn 8. And now you cannot go wide on the exit, which we actually see one of the cars up ahead doing, not really supposed to be doing that. Rodrigo Duran all the way down in 15th place. We don't tend to see him down so low, do we, Austin?
Yeah, Rodrigo Duran had a good start, but coming out of the bus stop, I think he might have had an issue right there. But down into 15th, where he qualified, and he was just ahead of Luca Verani and Robert Ridgway. Oh my goodness, that was a hard-mouth moment. Dives into the pit lane after jumping the start. It was just by a split second that he jumped the start, but iRacing, you do something wrong, and they're going to catch it for it right there. As up into the battle for third place, Gavin Petty, under pressure by Jerome Lamley. As you can see, Lamley, that year 1 car, all over that gearbox already alongside. They're going to be side by side, coming out of the S's and down that long back straightaway, heading into the bus stop. They're going to be side by side. Lamley has got the gap on Petty right there, and Lamley is going to be taking 3rd place, heading into the bus stop chicane.
Crucial move there for Jerome Lamy. He needs to catch up to Coffrey and Herman if he wants this race win. Petty just not having the pace at the moment, not able to follow his teammate in first and Coffrey in second, but can he stick to the back of Jerome Lamy, continue that pace and just see if he can sort of cling on to some form of podium? But Vinny Moroni in the background looking rapid as ever.
I think there's been an incident with Phil Waller and Philip Lucas. We got a replay here for right now, but there's a massive crash in the background. This is Philip Waller, the 28 car. Look right there, heading into the bus stop chicane. Oh, the car in front of it gets turned in. Oh, no. 3-car sandwich right there. And, unfortunately, they just stayed right there for a few of the drivers. This is Lung and Molfatova going side by side. Lung down to the inside. Molfatova around the outside. They're going to go side by side coming out of that corner, coming out of the boot right there. Molfatova able to hold the speed outside of Lung for 20th place for Sarah Molfatova, already up 5 spots today.
Yeah, great job by her. As you rightly point out, that incident was super scary at the bus stop, so close to an almighty accident. And yeah, I think they did the best job though they could do, is just holding the brakes, just almost praying that nobody ends up hitting you. Tony Jimenez has also had some form of incident. He's had to jump to the pit. Sultan Zamota and Lung as well having to do the same. As we look at Rafael Minza now, as we head towards the chicane on the inside, round the outside goes Westman. He wants it to position. It's going to have to be super brave if he's going to take the outside line. And actually, he doesn't need to be brave. He just got the move done even before they touched the brakes. Yeah,
Westman had the gap in the speed heading up the S's, and that is exactly where. But right here is going to be an entire group of commitment right here. Brian Tallarico just getting caught up right there. He had Carney right behind him, Luis right ahead of him, and he was side by side with Carney. Richard Van Veen is putting pressure as well. See Richard Van Veen going on to the outside, looking to get the flick around of Carney. He's all up in that draft. Are we going to be seeing the dive down to the inside from Richard Van Veen? Well, he sets himself up down to the inside, heading into the toe, and he's going to be taking that line, as that is Carney on the outside. Carney took a wider line. He could be getting the draft of Tallarico ahead of him, but Richard Van Veen has got the move, and he covers him off. Richard Van Veen up in a 25th place, and it's kind of low. We aren't used to seeing Richard Van Veen down this low.
I was just about to say that. Austin, yeah, Richard Van Veen, one of the series regulars. Yeah, very unusual to see him in the lowly 25th position, although that's almost in the top half of the grid. It's such of the numbers that we have racing at round 1 today. Van Veen really needs a good lap, but understeer through the final corner, had to go down an extra gear to make sure the front end would get towards the apex, and that's allowed Trelico just to extend that gap as we head towards Andy Flynn with Nicholas Westman. Once again, he's done it 1 lap previously, and I think he's going to try the outside line. It worked for him 1 lap ago.
Oh, he's got the pace. Oh, he's let him by right there. Andy Flint thinking smart about that. New paint for Andy Flint this season. Is that a little bit of Fernando Alonso-esque? And that is Lucas Maruk going slow on the inside of the carousel. I think Maruk just had to serve a slowdown penalty right there because he just went tumbling down the order.
He did. Last season champion Maruk is not getting off to the start that he would have liked even.
Yeah, that is Lucas Maruk, our last season champion. He opted not to go for the number 1 this season, so the number 1 is not going to be represented right there. Let's see what happens with. Oh, that is a big slide, Maruk, and yeah, it cuts across the course. Well, Maruk is probably just going to be thinking he's probably going to slow down for that and not a meatball flag for that, because oh my gosh, that is a big save by Lucas Maruk. Steven Ritters in 11th, pressuring user for 10th place. And it's probably harder in the seat than it is in that driving photo right there.
I certainly concur with that, Austin. Yeah, actually looks freezing there. Hope he's feeling a little bit more warmer today. As Rafael Minza there under pressure once again. He's got passed by Westman a few laps ago and already onto the back. And actually, there's quite the train forming behind him, and he's wide through turn 1. That's going to give a huge advantage to Ridders and Duran. Varane Maruk.
Oh, here comes the Duran. Duran had a much better line than Raiders, and Duran are going to be having a drag race right behind Rafael Musa. They're going to be side by side. Raiders is just going to chill out right there. Drops behind Duran. Duran, though, going for the move down to the inside. Side by side, they're going to go heading into the bus-up chicane, and Duran backs away right there. Lets Ritters have that. Lets Muser have that. Ritter stays behind Duran, so Duran into 11th right there after that little debacle at turn 1. This is the battle for 29th. Hopkins and Stevens going side by side, heading into the bus stop chicane, and contact right there. LS Stevens and Hopkins make contact on turn entry. They both kept it going, but that is not what you want to see from the 21 driver.
Another incident at the bus stop chicane, and just like Maruk a few laps ago, manages to get away almost scot-free. Don't see any damage, and this is Michael Coffrey now coming under pressure from Jerome Lamy. And Gavin Petty as well, he's dropped down to 5th place.
I think all the drivers, they saw the pre-race meeting, and then they completely ignored the meeting about turn 8 because everybody's using that line now.
And they're going for the FIA rule of if everybody does it, then they can't penalise everybody. So, yeah,
pretty much. I think the 150 just hit the wall. In the background, Vinny in the 150 in the wall coming out of the final corner. I think in the background, I saw him hit the wall.
Right, possibly, Austin. It's so easy to do here. And actually, talking about all the drivers ignoring the rules at turn 8, well, most of them were doing it at turn 1 as well. I'd like to be one of the stewards. Westman is in the pits. Oh, no,
no, that's...
sorry, that was on me.
Oh my gosh, Coffrey is pushing, and there's no room right there. How have they escaped that with their lives? Lamley and Coffrey were side by side. Vinny Monroe's cuts across the bus stop chicane in the background. He definitely has some damage, I guess, from that wall tap. But chaos in the front. Coffrey with the elbows out. Vinny, though, in the background. I said he hit the wall. I guess he had damage. We're going to get a replay of both those incidents. This is Lamley getting a massive run on Coffrey, and goes onto the outside, and then, he's just getting squeezed right there and becoming a massive lawnmower, and, Coffrey pushed left. When he cleared him.
I cannot believe that they didn't end up flying through the air. That was utterly insane.
Victor Barris has had an incident. There's a massive
Petty
incident.
as well.
Gavin Petty, Muser, Glamslater, Petty, and Barris. What is going on in the background? And I would not want to be in Mark's shoes right now because there's so many replays we're asking him. This is what happened to Victor Barris. This is at the toe of the boot, and this is side by side, and too much through the corner. Gets collected off the exit. One car goes up, and we're going to have a car part. They collected the number 13, and oh my goodness, there's so much. No.
I think they're still actually crashing at the moment. I'm seeing more and more drivers popping up on.
What is going on? Okay, after all that, the cars in the pits now. Gavin Petty, Rafael Muser, and Andy Flint are in the pits. Twister Gramslater has just gone into the pit lane as well. Victor Barris and Rafael Muser have hopped in there. I would say the biggest gainer out of that is Sarah Molfatova. She's in 14th now.
Absolutely incredible run from her. Just trying to look. Ellis Stevens as well gained quite a lot. 20 positions from where they started. Absolutely incredible. It was all happening on lap 6, wasn't it? Clark Williams.
We saw that incident with Stevens, but that incident was pretty much affecting everybody in the top 10. So that was a massive hit for a lot of those drivers. Just one mistake around this track, and you can see how much it will pile up and affect everybody behind you. And
certainly will with the amount of cars, Austin. And just to point out, Morone, who actually went across the first bus stop, he's in 10th. So after all of that issues that he had, he sort of almost avoided all of the carnage that was to come later on in the lap. A brilliant stroke of luck there from Vinny Morone.
Yeah, speaking of stroke of luck, Coffrey and Lamley, how they've not had a crash yet is a big stroke of luck. Coffrey, some might say that defending it was a little bit over-aggressive. Heading into the grass, all I know is that is a touring car-esque defending right there, but I don't think touring car defending and Formula driving is going to be a good combination, but Lamley is going to be in that right position to be making that move. Both of them going just a little bit wide out of turn 1, but Lamley in that draft. He remembers what happened last time when he tried to go around the outside. Is he going to be trying to go for that move again? Lamley closing in on that gearbox, a year 116. We saw him win last time. Defend down to the inside. Here comes Lamley. Down to the inside of Coffrey. Backs off of it. Didn't want to go full sender Rooney on there. And just decided to sit back and just stay behind Coffrey, which is sometimes a smart move because the tires around here, we're extremely fast. And this race is much longer than the official race. So if you're used to the official race and how the tires feel throughout the official race, you're going to be in a dangerous situation in the final third of this race. So the final 7 laps, these tires are going to be in a kind of new world for a few of these drivers, because Watkins Glen, very fun track, very well-known track, but the tires are going to be a big talking point, especially at the end of this race.
Well, if anybody's done the Watkins 6 hours this weekend, everybody will know that tires are a massive strategy advantage around here if you can manage them. And yeah, any of the drivers that haven't had to sort of really push the tires on the opening few laps will be reaping the benefits.
Wide.
I mean, there is wide, and then there's Simone Festi wide through there, and Luca Varani, of course, one of us.
I swear he touched the grass on the outside.
He was certainly closer to the wall than he was the track, which is quite an achievement for turn 8 there. Luca Varani won't be too impressed seeing that ahead of him, but he'll be a little bit more worried by Lucas Maruk. It's Varani ultra wide through the final corner. That's going to give the advantage to Lucas Maruk as we head towards turn 1. And does that sound like Lucas Maruk just sort of backing off the throttle
yeah,
a little bit?
You know, if I was Lucas Maruk, I'm just like, you know, we're closing in on Simone Festi. I'm going to let them take this, and I'm just going to look after my tires. Lucas Maruk, defending champion, he knows what to do. He's going to be getting the draft right here. And we're just going to be seeing if he just gets in that draft and lets off. Yes, he does. That's a big let off and letting, Varani just looking down to the inside. Not really a threat for the overtake right there. Just filling the mirrors and trying to get a fast one over on Simone Festi.
Certainly is. Yeah, Lucas Maruk, you could just see how much, you know, he's struggling in the high-speed corners with the dirty air. Adam Talsma, another one who was in the dirty air. This time he's trying to get past Clark Williams, but he's got Mulavtova on his back, so got to be careful as we head to where we saw that mega incident a few laps ago. Everybody getting through nice and calmly this time by as we head towards turn 8, and let's see who decides to keep with the race director's notes and who decides that they would much prefer to go very wide. And well, I was going to say
they're all very well behaved behind the race director, Luca Varani. I think Luca after this race might just be like, yeah, that was silly. That might have been a little bit silly to ask that, but you know, everyone behind them is being very nicely driven right there, following within the rules. Rollinson and Williams having a fight for 11th place up ahead of Talsma as Molfatova. Well, I know Sarah Molfatova, she will send it if she knows that she can have the opportunity to send it. That is wide for Adam Talsma right there, but Talsma getting into the draft of Williams and Rollinson, and that fight for 11th is going to be absolutely tasty to watch. And yeah, here it goes. Rollinson and Williams side by side. Williams down low. As they're side by side, Alistair Hay is off the track and he's out of the race.
Oh, the smoke there, I think.
And Molfatova around the outside of the bus stop at the entry. How?
Yeah, I completely concur with you there, Austin. Amazing move by Molotova. Such confidence under brakes, and kind of like Adam Talsma reeling after that. And I think Alistair Hay was, as I was trying to point out, I think it's Reed Dennis off the ground on the curb there, all 4 wheels. And we're talking about porpoising in Formula 1, and if he was in real life, I think he'd be needing some painkillers for his back after that. Reed Dennis, take a bow. That's
maybe
certainly a flying lap.
As well. Oh my God, gets a little bit wide, it gets up into the air and collected! Dennis Esalendio! Oh no, big crash at the entry of the boot.
Big crash indeed, and yeah, that just looked a little bit clumsy there from Dennis. He sort of stuck his nose where maybe it wasn't warranted. We're going to have a look at a replay. This is Alistair Hay, so what has happened to
I think they might just over... Oh, that's a lot of curb. Oh, no. Oof.
That's
Well,
That's gonna hurt.
The side of the car's ruined, the front's ruined, the side's ruined. I think the front wheel's ruined. Here, let's run on board of Sarah Mofotova on this move right here. On Andy Flitt. She has an amazing run, goes on to the outside, and at this point you see, no, not going to back up. She just goes for it around the outside. Andy Flitt is probably going, what the heck? Andy Flitt backed off of that. Sarah just went for it, and that was awesome.
Yeah, she had such command of the rear of her car. You would expect with the speed that she took into the corner that the rear would just snap and round she went, but no, the car really suiting her preferences at the moment. And yeah, amazing overtaking. She's up to 12th, and Darren Rowlandson up ahead of her. And can she even get a top 10? Certainly on the cards, especially with how action-packed this race has been so far. That's Glamsetter taking the non-optimal line through the bus stop, gets it all collected. Watching Richie Robinson trying to get past Martin Devine is Brad Talico has had some form of issue out on the track. He's dropping down the order now. Richie Robinson, and that's very wide for Martin Devine. That's going to give a little bit of an opportunity to Richie Robinson. The 159 car can't do anything with that yet. And now we've got Glamsetter and Stuart Milne in the background. And once again, my heart just skips a beat as Nicholas Westman, who is now up to 4th place, has another one of his little internet disconnection
moments. Look down to
moments.
the inside. Oh, that is tight for Stuart Millen. That's 16. And Christian Glamsetter in the 18 around the outside of the 162. As up front, we've had a lead change. Mikkel Coffrey takes the lead ahead of Samuel Hermer. And the top three are all within a second of each other right there. But Mikkel M. Coffrey, your new leader of Samuel Hermer, falls down to 2nd place, and Jerome Blamley in 3rd.
What has happened to Sam Hermer? He had a comfortable 2nd lead, only a few laps to go. Last lap for him was a 1 minute 39.7. Compared that to Coffrey's 38.4. So whether Hermer's made a mistake or just simply doesn't have the pace, I am not sure. Judging by that graph, it does seem like Hermer's just made a mistake, but that's really put him on the back foot, because not only is he in 2nd place, he's got the ever fast and absolutely incredible driver of Jerome Lamy in 3rd behind him. This battle is going to go down to the wire, and we know that Jerome Lamy is very happy to even drive on the grass to get past you. Hermer's got to be, watching his mirrors in equal measure as he's trying to get past Coffrey, because if he makes the wrong move here, it could be a race over for him.
Ooh, that was wide by Hermer, almost getting into the wall. Here comes Jerome Lamley. Lamley had a much better run. He's going to be getting the draft heading into turn 1, but Lamley is going to be thinking smart about this, not sending it on Hermer, or else, unless they want Coffrey to run away, and Lamley knows what Coffrey did, but Coffrey rocketing away right there, and Hermer, I think, I don't know what's going on, but he's very slow and holding up Jerome Lamley. So Lamley, I think, is going to be getting past. Yeah, there we go. Lamley onto the outside and getting the speed and getting the draft of Coffrey up ahead. So Coffrey in the lead. Lamley in 2nd, and side by side into the bus stop. Lamley and Hermer, they go, and they somehow swaps positions through there. Lamley around the outside. Now it was Lamley down to the inside. Hermer on the outside, off the exit. Jerome Lamley and Samuel Hermer. Well, I thought they weren't going to race each other. They wanted to keep that fight for the lead intact, but they're going to be fighting with each other and going full bare-knuckled bar fight brawl with each other right there. What a move by Jerome Lamley.
Oh, while that's going on, Coffrey just sort of galloped into the distance. Molotova now under pressure from Adam Talsma once again as we head through the chute of turn 6 towards turn 7. Molotova still in the lead. Talsma trying to look away behind, has a little bit of a wiggle into the braking zone, trying to de-settle Molotova, but that does not have the intended effect as Glamsetter once again takes the very adventurous line through the bus stop. And yeah, I think these drivers have no disregard for their simulated backs, because their simulated backs would be really hurting right about now with the amount of curve they're taking. Just to the inside goes Glamsetter. But still, Richie Robinson just has more speed around the outside. He's going to have the overspeed and the inside line as we head towards turn 7. But Glamsetter simply drives around the outside, just brakes later, has more confidence. Glamsetter up to 24th. That's another driver we don't really expect to be that far down the order, Austin.
Yeah, Christian Glamsetter, well, he had an incident earlier. I believe he was involved in that lap 6 incident where he had to go into the pit lane, get that fast repair, and then get back out. But Christian Glamsetter, oh, that is a hurtful day right there. He had the pace at the very front of the day, and then with that giant incident in the toe, it's an uphill fight for Christian Glamsetter right now, sitting in 24th. Christian Glamsetter, I believe, making his return after a few absences. Lucas Baruch getting a little bit wild and out right there. Quark Williams battling with Rollinson still heading into the bus stop. Behind us, Molfatola, Talisman, Luis, Richard Van Veen, Party, and Gracie. As some fights are starting to sizzle out, some fights are starting to heat up right here. This is defending champion Lucas Maruk holding off Luca Verani and putting the pressure on Simon Fessy.
Fessy that's made quite the habit of going ultra wide at turn 8. Let's see if he can do the same once again. He'll be a little bit foolish to do it.
Nope.
Actually, it's Lucas Maruk this time that takes the liberties just ahead of Luca Verani. I'm sure Verani's making a mental note of all the drivers he sees doing that. As Rowlandson now dropping down the order. Williams has got past him. Williams into 10th place. Darren Rowlandson demoted to 11th, and maybe that will just bring this Molotova-Tausma through this battle into contention for this final place in the top 10. Only time will tell. We're working on lap 15, Austin. Where has the time gone? It's been an absolutely cracking race. Glamsetter now trying to get past Giovanni Stiletto, and that overtake is very interestingly given Alex Hopkins the glory of making up the most positions in the race. He was tied with Stiletto, but Glamsetter got past him. So, yeah, 21 places for Alex Hopkins. He is in 18th place at the moment.
Yeah, Hermer retook second place for Jerome Lanley, so they're fighting amongst themselves for second place as Coffrey has cleared that draft and cleared these two, as this is Maruk and Fessy going side by side. Lucas Maruk, oh, that was a masterclass in the bus stop right there. Cut it down to the inside, and Rollinson has had an issue.
Vinny Moroni has disappeared.
Yeah, Vinny is teleported into the pits, and now this is the fight for 9th place. And oh, in the background, the fight for 10th. Williams and Molfatova are side by side, heading into the toe of the boot. That was Molfatova side by side, and oh, into the wall is... Who was that? And oh, Molfatova got a little bit loose off the exit, and there's a big crash out of the toe. Molfatova has crashed. The tires were gone, and I think there was a multi-car crash right there heading out of the corner. And
Barris.
I think
Victor Barris. I think he was the one. Was he a lap down? Because I don't.
He was a lap down. They crashed with Molfatova, and I think that hit the back end of Molfatova's car, which turned her. Because Victor Barris was the car that went straight on into the toe. Yeah, this is Victor Barris side by side with Molfatova, fighting with her as they go side by side into the toe, and Victor Barris, Yuki Tsunoda's it into the grass and into the wall, and then Molfatova, I think, caught the grass off the exit right there, and it gets collected by the 21 right there of Ellis Stevens. And oh, that is unfortunate right there.
Yeah, not quite sure what caused Molotova to spin.
I think it was. I think she was expecting Barris to just be right there, and then just pushed a little bit too hard into the grass.
Yeah, a little bit wrong-footed on the apex. Certainly not what you need, and that's a fairly stellar run to a premature and disaster, really. She was doing so well and made up so many positions, and also Ellis Stevens as well involved in that accident. They've had to return to the pits. They're still up 11 spots from where they started, but not in the heights that they were. Only a few laps to go, but that's allowed this battle of Fessy, Maruk and Varani just to ease up a little bit, as that's Talarico coming out of the pits. He's been in the pits for repairs, just getting out of the way of a lapped traffic. He's actually, no, he's still on the lead lap. Do apologise. He must have had a fairly quick pit stop.
Talarico was never in the pits.
He definitely jumped to the pits, I swear.
Nope.
No, he must have had some form
Christian
of incident.
Glamsetter ahead of him was in the pits.
Anyway, so, as Luca Verani there gets so close to the outside wall. We've seen drivers.
You're thinking of Brad. You're thinking of Brad Talarico.
Whoops. Yes, there's so many family relations in this series. Always been great to see, but always very confusing for us commentators, or at least for me in the commentary booth. Somebody that's not too confusing for us is Luca Varani. He's got such a distinctive livery. We always like that as commentators, and he is trying to catch up to Simone Fessi now in the slipstream.
Oh,
he's going to pull to the inside. He's got a lapped car up ahead. It's going to complicate things a little bit. I think that just put him off a little bit. He sort of got his wise head on Vinny Morone. Sorry, not Vinny Morone, Luca Varani. He's always been smart, always knows how to race smartly, and I think that was one time just to back off. Don't take any chances.
Rollinson.
Try again.
Rollinson has had an issue. They fall into Williams, and I think that was in the bus stop behind them. Rollinson, Darren Rollinson falls down to 10th place by Williams. They're ahead of Williams right there. And I think that might be a little bit too much curb on to the entry of the bus stop. Well, the only time will tell. This is Rollinson going down to the inside, making the move, heading into the bus stop, and then just a little bit too much mustard right there. Overshoots it and gives that spot right back.
So similar to Alistair Hayes' crash a few laps ago, manages to keep it out of the barriers.
Well, he's in control.
Unlike Hay. He was in control, but it just sort of like had flashbacks. So yeah, always good to see cars not ending up in the barriers. It's so easy to do around here. Patrick Rowland's in 20th position, the number 51 car chasing down Christian Glamstetter, who quite rightly point out, Austin, had that incident on lap 6, but is slowly making his way through the field. Only 55 seconds off the leader. And given at one point he was facing backwards and has had to come into the pits and get some repairs, that's fairly remarkable within itself, as I think all of the battles just not as close as they were a few laps ago. Just as we say that, our lovely producer proves me wrong and finds a battle. Andy Flynn and Tony Jimenez, and Andy Flynn has been super unlucky in this race. He certainly had the pace. Can he at least regain 26th place?
Yeah, the battle for 26. We've seen both of these drivers have an incident so far in this race. Tony Jimenez and Andy Flint. Well, that's iGPFun for you. You're going to have battles up and down the field. We got 50 cars on the grid here at Watkins Glen, and it is just a lot of fun. And all these drivers here out on a Sunday evening, competitive, but having some fun.
Yeah, it's always been the name of the game, is that's a car going very wide there, just getting out of the way. Always distracting as a driver, because you never quite know what they're going to do. You always sort of hope and pray that they'll sort of get out of the way, and then whenever they do, you always feel a little bit sort of discombobulated by them moving sort of across the apex. It's always very confusing as a driver, but through turn 1 we go. Andy Flynn again having a few liberties with the track limits, but just manages to keep it, I think, just within what the race director would have liked. Is Lamy once again ahead of Sam Hermer. I've just spotted up the field, but the gap now 2 seconds between first and second. Coffrey doing an absolutely stellar job at the moment. Andy Flint not having enough pace to catch up to Jimenez before we hit the braking zone of the bus stop, but Andy Flint has got so much more command of that car at the moment, just able to place it where he wants. It just feels like number 11 is struggling. It's down the inside goes Andy Flint into turn 6, but still Jimenez just manages to keep it around the outside, and Andy Flint sort of shown his hand for this lap. He's going to have to regroup and come again, probably into the bus stop next time by.
So the race director notes is all 4 wheels off the curbs getting a 1x. If you do it for 10 times, you will be penalized. If you are more than an entire car length away from the curb, it is very penalized. That is at turn 1. The bus stop is basically keep 1 wheel on the black stuff, and if you go all 4 wheels off the black stuff, you will be penalized.
Well, does it say anything about drivers having all 4 wheels in the air? Because we've seen a few drivers doing that. Oh, Andy Flint's so close to the wall, thought he was going to end up taking off his left front corner. Manages just to collect it up, but that was scary for us in the commentary box. Can't imagine what Andy Flint's feeling from within that car at the moment.
Oh,
he's beached on the curb.
He went wide into the curb. I think that was to set himself up into the corner, but you know, when you set yourself up into that curb, you're lowering the amount of clearance you have in the car, and you heard the scraping underneath it, and that is just chopping away all the speed opportunities for Andy Flint. And while he was trying to set himself up for a better run down into the SS, it did not work out that way for Andy Flint right there. and it's going to be another lap of charging. Turn 8 was not visualized in the race director notes. But to go back on your airborne question, if a driver gets airborne heading into the chicane, that will not be penalized, as if they land that and continue going, they are just lucky.
Oh, Duran's had some form of issue.
I think has gone airborne in the bus stop chicane, and Duran has crashed in the chicane. And watch us rejoin, watch us rejoin, watch us rejoin. Oh, F3 is being abused right now as Rodrigo Duran is trying to get his way back on track, and eventually does. How did he get there? Well, I think we're about to see all 4 wheels into the air, heading into the bus stop chicane. That's aggressive. Oh, yep, all 4 wheels into the air, catches the inside curve, around they go, and lock up the wheels, facing the other way, and the longest 3-point turn I've ever seen.
These Formula 3 cars can find reverse gear a little bit easier than their Formula 1 counterparts. Oh, who was that in the background? That was, I think it was a lapped car down, but they were absolutely sideways.
I think that was Westman. I believe that was Westman. That might be.
No, he's too far behind,
no,
I think.
Yeah, Westman is 14 seconds behind. Yeah, that is a lap car.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of a red car now.
I know there are so many out on the grid, but this is Hermer, another red car, trying to get past Jerome Lamy. We saw Lamy 1 lap ago, also wide out of turn 5, and Hermer getting past him. Lamy tracking into the slipstream, not really fighting that one too much as we head towards the bus stop, and it almost seems like we need to sort of announce every time that a driver manages to get through the bus stop. At the moment, it's proving to be such a challenge for some of the drivers out there. To head towards turn 6, everything looks fairly clean and tidy for Sam Hermer, but what an absolutely stellar job Coffrey's doing at the moment, Austin. You know, he took the lead earlier on and he just hasn't looked back. 2.2 seconds to gap now.
Yeah, 2.2 seconds, but I'm pretty sure a few of the drivers... Oh, that was Coffrey, actually, who was the one that got really offset. No. He was in the lead ahead of these two. I'm just seeing a red car. I'm just like, it's it. No, but I'm sure a few of the drivers will be talking with Coffrey or the race director after a few of the incidents, because if you look at our... Williams is off the track right now and is actually out of the race. At our off-track count in SDK right now, Coffrey has 28x.
It's only 16x for me, but yeah, Coffrey really using those track limits, and I think it's not even using them, he's abusing them, but wow. Yeah,
that
once again.
Off the wheels once again. Off the track right there.
He must be getting 1x's for that, and yeah, I think
yeah, he is.
Luca Varani will be looking at this after the race, but what
also with his defense with Jerome Lamley. Remember when Lamley was trying to pass for second place, they went into the grass and he squeezed them all the way into the grass to force Lamley to stop right there. So Coffrey not going to be the popular driver in the locker room after this race.
Yeah, I think, you know, going back to that incident, I don't think it was necessarily the pushing him into the grass. I think Jerome Lamey sort of almost opted for that himself, and Coffrey sort of just didn't really concede the place, which I don't think he's entitled to do. But I think where the issue for Coffrey is... He didn't concede
the track position. Honestly, to quote Fernando Alonso, you always have to leave the space.
But I think that the issue for Coffrey is that once they were side by side, one on the grass, one or not, Coffrey sort of moved across just a little bit more and they made contact, and I think that's where the stewards, I think, might draw the line. So yeah, I think that there might be a few stewards investigations after this one, and I certainly am pleased that I'm in the commentary booth rather than anywhere else as we see.
I feel like the track limits deal before the after the race might be taking a look at, because I think every driver here has done it at least once, and Tallarico has had a very tough line through there. And here comes Richie Robinson taking full advantage of that. Richie Robinson going down to the inside, heading into the bus stop, side by side. There go. Richie Robinson down to the inside and up into 21st.
Yeah, so this battle continues once again. Actually, that's interesting. Oh no, it's a back marker. I thought we were going to have another car, but no, that's either a car that is lap down or a lap ahead, but certainly not within the battle. That's Mackenzie then.
Yeah, that will be a lap down of him. Mackenzie is down in 30th place, so the 31st car in 30th place.
Andy Flint, though, another driver, actually, he's the last driver on the lead lap. You can just see looming large is Coffrey in the background trying to take another place away or another
He's
lap.
being held up by these two. He's being held up slightly because Hermer has just put in the fastest lap of the race, and he is closing down. 1.8 seconds separates these two. Coffrey, he might have abused his tires just a little bit too much because that gap is falling down with about 5 laps to go between Hermer and Coffrey.
Yeah, you can visually see it now, and actually crucially as well for that battle for the lead, Jerome Lamy is nowhere to be found within that. 4 seconds adrift from the lead.
There's Flint.
Does his best. Oh, is that Lamy always in the wall in the background there? Hermer's now got to get past, and Andy Flint once again doing absolutely stellar job.
Who he's trying to chase down. He's not going to be anywhere near that, and he didn't want to be anywhere near responsible for being held up right there. So he's doing the back marker thing of just like, I'm just going to let you two by. You carry on their fight. I'm going to try to stay as near as I can with you because this is going to be enjoyable if he can stay right there. And this is Coffrey getting up onto the curbs. That's Beach. Hermer going very wide. And 1.6 seconds. That was a very tight line for Coffrey. Bottoming out definitely on the curb right there. 1.6 seconds remain between them. And Hermer just on the outside of that draft range to catch up to Michael Coffrey.
Yeah, he's going to need a little bit more. And actually, it does look like if you take more speed into the corner and go as wide as Hermer does, that it would be quicker. But I think he went so wide that it worked sort of against him at that point. I don't think he would have gained anything. I think he would have even, in fact, lost a little bit of time. But for Coffrey now, it's getting really tricky because this Tony Jimenez is not getting out of the way. He does so right now. Until just as I say it, but crucially he's going to pull ahead of Sam Hermer. Hermer's going to have to carry that dirty air at least all the way through turn 7, and Hermer now going to be compromised. This is sort of advantage Coffrey at the moment. And Andy Flint still hasn't gotten out of the way of Jerome Lamy, or I think Lamy hasn't been close enough. It's Coffrey ultra wide through turn 8. Hermer goes, I can do it just a little bit better than you can, son. And tries to achieve that goal. Rafael Munzer there trying to get past Zoltan Zamota. Another 2 drivers that we normally see racing at the sharp end of the grid.
Oh, we got a car spinning in front of him. In the wall. That's
Elliot Stevens. Elliot Stevens.
Oh, we were commenting on how Stevens had that incident, got back onto the track, and was looking pretty good after a recovery drive. And Stevens is out of the race.
Out of the race. Certainly isn't with 2 laps to go. No point rejoining the race. And yeah, it's Rafael Minzer there. So close to contact with Zoltan Zamota as we head up towards the bus stop through the little king of 2 and 3.
Well, they're fighting for the same bit of track right now. They both jolted towards the right. They wanted that inside line heading into there. But Zolmotor was all over that inside line. Here comes Rafael for Cheetah Sim Racing, trying to hold it around to the outside. They're side by side, fighting over from the bus stop, and Munzer forced to go chop the lawn just a little bit. Zolmotor was elbows out all the way into there. And, well, they both kept on racing, and that is the best outcome out of that. Unfortunate for the car that just dove through the grass right there, Munzer. But fortunately, they all kept on going.
Yeah, a little bit. I think hopeful. I think Munzer was trying to go around the outside there. Yeah, optimistic. Thank you very much, Austin. I think Zamota was always going to close the door there. He's entitled to do so, at least from the sort of the glance that we had a look. But another battle out on track at the moment is Westman and Lucas Maruk, and Maruk has sort of made his championship it's almost his MO of just being calm, inconsistent throughout the race, just sort of being consistent and being there in the final few laps. And Maruk doing that again. Can he get 4th place? It's certainly not a podium, but it is good points. It's Rollins and Richie Robinson battling further down the order. Oh, and that's super wide there for Nicholas Westman. Don't know how he managed to keep that out of the barrier. I think he just about did. And Maruk now really on the tails as we head towards turn 1. Westman braking early and Maruk taking so much more apex speed, but I think that's going to give Westman the slightly better run out of turn 1 towards the chicane. Are we going to see a repeat of what we saw a lap ago? Is Maruk feeling like he wants to go around the outside? I think he's a little bit too far back to be thinking about those decisions, but
He was half a second at the start of the S's, and now he's down to 2/10. Yeah, he's too far away to make that move, but he's definitely, if he can keep that draft, he is definitely where he wants to be heading into the last lap of the race. As, well, there is only 1.5 laps left for them, and to our leaders, there is 1.5 laps as well, as 18 seconds up the field is our fight for the lead. Coffrey and Hermer separated by 1.5 seconds as they fly towards turn 8. Coffrey and Hermer. Oh, Coffrey went off the track, off the rebound of turn 8, heading into turn 9. 1.4 seconds separates them right now. Hermer just at the bare edge of the draft. Can he force Coffrey to push that car into a mistake? We saw a slight mistake right there from Coffrey heading into the grass outside of turn 8, heading into turn 9. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go.
It's super disappointing for Sam Hermer. He's just showing that he does have the pace. He's been quicker than Coffrey. Actually, that was the first lap, actually, that Coffrey was quicker, but Hermer consistently quicker over the last few laps than our race leader, but whatever was the cause of him losing the lead, that just sort of ended his race there and then. Hermer not having the pace, but, or having the pace earlier on, but certainly having the pace in the latter stages. Jerome Lamy as well, falling completely off the back of this pack. 7 seconds separates them. What a great job has Coffrey done, but this is the battle we all want to see. Maruk v Westman. Maruk so close to the back.
Perfect switch down to the inside by Lucas Maruk. Westman left the door open. Maruk down to the inside. Maruk into 4th. Westman holds it off. Maruk gets up a little bit airborne. He keeps the car planted right there. Lucas Maruk keeps it in 4th, but Westman gets the switch right now. Westman goes down to the inside, heading into the carousel. They're going to be side by side. And Nicholas Westman with the switch back of dreams down to the inside. Retakes 4th place. Maruk trying to charge it down to the inside, entering the move. And Maruk spins it. Westman spins it. Maruk down into 4th. He's able to save it right there. Westman. Oh, he had the defense. He had the rebound right there. And I thought he had it, but oh, the tires gave out on him. And Nicholas Westman falls down to 7th. Lucas Maruk goes up into 4th. And Michael M. Coffrey takes the win here at Watkins Glen with Samuel Hermer right behind him.
Coffrey, absolutely stellar drive from him. Hermer across the line in 2nd place, and Simon Fessi will come through for quite surprising 5th place, I feel. I don't think he was expecting to be in 5th after, of course, Westman's spin. I think as soon as he hit the brakes, you could just tell that Westman just simply stopped too late and was never gonna make the apex, and I was surprised that he even sort of attempted to sort of gather up the car, tries to get it close to the apex. As Nick Carty and Richard Van Veen racing towards the line. Nick Carty in 13th place. Van Veen 1 position higher in 12th. As we head through the penultimate corner we go. Carty's going to have to do a very late braking maneuver if he wants to take that 12th place.
Oh, he's done himself up for a big run, but it's very hard. That's a little bit too much of an ask right there if you're Nick Carty, but he's definitely going to be making a show right there. Carty's going to be finishing behind Richard Van Veen in 13th, Van Veen in 12th. Richard Van Veen up 23 spots.
Oh, not even our highest gainer. That goes to Giovanni Stiletto. 24 places gained.
They're still racing.
They are still racing.
Racing back there. I believe we saw a clip of, I think that was 3 wide at one point, but I think that was on their in-lap. Yeah, there's Giovanni Stiletto, your biggest mover, up 24 spots. A fantastic drive for the Italian right there. Brian Tallarico in that 10, up 5 spots. They're going to be finishing at 23rd. And Martin Devine, there's Martin. Last car to come across the line. And there we go. This race is over.
An absolutely stellar race we had at race 1. We've always come to expect it here at iGPFun, but that certainly delivered more. I think even I was expecting, and more than I think that Sam Hermer was expecting. He was so quick in qualifying, only did 4 laps and managed to get the pole from it, but didn't have the pace to convert it into a race win as he decides that he wants to do 1 more lap, maybe a few celebratory donuts, but those donuts certainly are deserved for Coffrey as we have your race results.
Yeah, it is Michael Coffrey taking the win here ahead of Samuel Hermer, and I think that is Hermer just posted up on the outside of Coffrey right there, just staring it down. Oh, there goes Hermer. Well, they're going to either duel donuts, and well, we're going to let the stewards yell at each other for this one, as Coffrey takes the win, followed by Samuel Hermer, Jerome Lamley, Lucas Murrick, Simon Festi, Luca Verani, Nicholas Westman, Dalen Rollinson, Adam Talsma, and James DeWeese finishing out your top 10 there, followed by Rodrigo Duran, Richard Van Veen, Nick Carty, Robert Ridgway, Christian Glamsitter, Matthew Gracie, and Alex Hopkins. They're followed by Patrick Rollins, Keelan Richie Robertson, Giovanni Saletto, Noel Richie Robertson, Stuart Millen, Brian Tallarico, Martin Devine, Tony Jimenez, Andy Flint, Zoltan Zilman, Rafael Munzer, John Mackenzie, Sarah Molfatova, Ella Stevens, Clark Williams, Colin Nicole, Vincenzo Vinny Monroe, followed by Graham Nicole, Victor Barris, Leo Lung, Ryan Waltzman, Alistair Hay, Reed Dennis, Brad Tallarico, Hector Balaguer, Stephen Ritters, Gavin Petty, Philip Waller, and Kuji Ito at the end of our 47-car grid. Matthias Mellhorn did not take the start of this race. 47 cars started, and a lot of them had issues, but there was a lot of action out there on track for this opening round of this season of IGP Fun. And I gotta say, that was a lot of fun.
It certainly was. Thoroughly enjoyed that from start to finish, and you always come to expect it from IGP Fun. Love commentating on the series. I don't think I've said that enough, or can say that enough. It's just absolutely amazing. Always good racing. Such respect as well from the drivers. And my favourite thing is that after the race, they all get together in the Discord chat and they watch the race back, and they all sort of share stories and they sort of discuss incidents. I love the community, and as somebody that just sort of like reads through and sort of just can see the respect between drivers, absolutely love it.
Yeah, it is, and sometimes they go into the chat and completely make fun of how badly we messed up a situation.
Well, I mean, that's like most of it, but you know, all's fair. I mean, we do the same when I drive.
A little bit of it, a little bit.
And so this is what happened to Nicholas Westman. Let's have a look at just the rear, simply giving up on him.
Too much mustard.
Too much speed into the corner. Does very well to not get involved in another, well, I was going to say get involved in another crash, but he has a fairly pedestrian accident with the inside barrier. But yeah, he didn't hit Luca Verani, which I think was the main issue that you would have faced there.
Lucas' charge on that last lap. Lucas Maruk's charge on that last lap was highlight worthy. He sent it through that chicane. I swear he was airborne. And then Westman got him back off the rebound. And I'm just like, oh, there's no way Baruch is going to get that back. And then, but the tire gods were looking in his favor right there. And it ain't over until it's over. But wow, what a first round here at Watkins Glen for the IGP Fun Formula 3 Series presented by Virtual Racing School. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here for round one. I've been joined by Sebastian Boscher Williams and Mark Tranter. You're watching Apex Racing TV. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.